So what is our role? It's to help providers and facilities navigate the licensing process. We also give technical assistance, guidance, and support to help understand rules and regulations, and help you guys meet the licensing requirements and remain in compliance. We identify hazards, assist facilities in providing equal access to quality, investigate complaints, injuries, and stage twos, and keep kiddos safe. So same things you guys are doing. Some of the people that we work with, you, of course, the background unit, local law enforcement, Colorado Shines, early childhood councils, food programs, coaches, mental health consultants, fire department, health department, school districts, county workers, a whole bunch of people that we work with. So I think some of the questions you guys asked were around your continuation. So we currently send these out 90 days prior to your anniversary date. Those are all being sent via email. Anything, you would then print the form, sign it, fill it out, and send the money to our office. If you have any changes that you want to make during that 90-day period, you can write those on. So like if somebody moved, if you're now using your basement, or you're not going to use your basement anymore, or you want to add upstairs, or you weren't accepting infants and now you have an infant that you want to accept, those are changes you can write on your continuation notice. There are changes. Sorry, I just want to make sure this slide is the right one. If you're not in that 90-day period, you can always submit a change request fee. So there's a change request form on our website, and this slide has links to everything. So you guys can just easily click and find the change request form. So if you have any of those changes, like adding your basement or changing the ages, and you're not in that 90-day continuation time frame, you can do it at any time with a change request. There are some changes that require a full application. So if you ever move or change your license type, like one of the girls in my group changed from a regular to a large, or if the ownership is changing or governing body, those would require a full application, not just the change, and they can't be written on the continuation notice. All right. Emily.
Oh, my turn. Sorry. So background checks, probably the biggest and one of the more difficult processes that we have, but we just wanted to go over some of the new processes for, not even processes, new laws for background checks. One is a couple years old now, that your specialists have hopefully talked with you about, consulted with you about. That's the FBI and the Trails background central registry checks are required now to be done every 5 years. So that means resubmitting fingerprints every 5 years for everyone 18 and older in your home, or anybody else that has access to children. So that's volunteers. There it is.
Sorry.
That's okay. Volunteers, substitutes, employees, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The Trails actually for family child care home providers, that's run through your continuation form every year. So you actually save a fee that way and you don't have to resubmit like centers would have to. That's already done for everyone in your home at your continuation. And then new law effective September 30th of this year is an interstate background check. So that's moving forward as of October 1st forward. Anybody that you fingerprint that has lived outside of Colorado within the last 5 years will have to get clearance for 3 additional checks and submit those. I'm trying to find the best words to say that. So clearance for 3 additional checks in the state that they resided in or states. Send those in and then we'll submit, and then we'll give you a clearance letter from there. So more information about that is on our website. It is it's up to you to contact whatever state that person resided in and obtain those background checks. We have a really nice graph on our website that has each state and who you contact. A lot of them, you just type in the name on the website and it shoots you out a clearance from there. Some of them you have to contact via email or I haven't seen any written requests, but I'm sure there might be some written requests in there, or a phone number you can call and obtain those checks. So Amanda put on here the 5-year background check frequently asked questions. That's a link to our website. We will send this out, or Hannah will send this out to all of you so you can have that, or call your licensing specialist. They'll be able to help you with that as well. Okay. So I'm going to go over just kind of briefly the rules and regulations. It sounds like most of you are all pretty familiar with them. So we're not going to dive deep into them. We are going to go over some of the more frequently cited violations. We have something at the end where we'll show you what those top 10 frequently cited violations are. And then we can stop and have questions. So rule types that apply to family child care homes are general rules. That basically covers all of our background check requirements, continuations and fees, and reporting requirements. And then of course the family child care home rules. We put a link here as well to an administrative guide. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. It's on our website. I definitely recommend going and checking that out. It doesn't have all of our rules in there, but it has most of our rules and then some clarification. So some of our main rules that we have a lot of questions on, or if we have additional resources that we want to lead you to, like if it's like a health, regulation, we can lead you to the health department and kind of the reasoning behind that rule. So that's a good guide to check out. It's a living document, so we're constantly updating that. It's about 100 pages long, so I don't recommend printing it out, but just having a link to it. If you ever have a question about a rule or anything like that, most of the time you can find your answer there, or of course always call your licensing specialist. We also have special activities regulations. Oh,
Good.
Was there a question? No? Good. Okay. And then we have special activities regulations that apply to all license types too, and that's mainly in homes. You'll see, like, if somebody has a swimming pool, there's special activity regulations that apply to them, or if they have an archery set or something that they might do with the kids, those special regulations will apply to them as well. So our family child care home rules and regs are split up into categories. Today, we're just going to touch on a few: ongoing trainings, substitute employee requirements, policies and procedures, children's records, emergency procedures, health and safety, safe sleep practices, and guidance. So ongoing trainings, this link right here, anything that's underlined and grayed out is a link that you can click on and it'll take you to our website. These are all the free trainings that are required, and again, free under PDIS. All of you are familiar with them, I imagine. We have safe sleep, shaken baby, abusive head trauma, abuse prevention, immunization. We now have standard precautions as of this year is available for free on PDIS. And also part 1 of medication administration is available for free on PDIS, as long as you connect with an approved nurse within 30 days of taking that course, and she'll sign off on the part 2, that's acceptable. And then of course we have our disaster preparedness and emergency response on the FEMA website. That's a one-time training, so if you've taken that once, you're good to go on that. And then background check requirements, again, we kind of talked about this a little bit. All residents in the home 18 years and older, or any employees, substitutes, or volunteers that have access to children, CBI, FBI fingerprint-based background checks. So when you go get your fingerprints done at those vendors that we spoke about, Identigo or Colorado fingerprinting, it will do CBI and FBI background checks. And you will not receive clearance letters. We house those at our office. So if you worked in a center before, that's different. Centers get them in the mail and they hold on to them. We house those, and us as licensing specialists have access to your clearance letter. one. So policies and procedures. So this is basically like your contract, right? This is the basis for your business. This sets the tone with all your parents and your families. It protects you, the children, the families legally. We have a sample policies and procedures on our website, but that's really should be that should be just the basis of it. You really should make that as thorough and individualized as possible. Again, that protects you legally. We have just the basic 34 points that we require of you, but whatever you put in there and those parents sign off on, that's your contract. Make sure parents always get a copy of that contract, and every time you make any amendments or anything like that, that you're providing that to the parents and they're signing off on those amendments as well. Keeping that paperwork, I know it's hard, but making sure you have all that paperwork, those signatures that they read and they agreed to all your policies and procedures. So again, it's not just something that you should off, oh, I have the 34 points, make sure that it really protects you and the children.
Can I get the copy of this 34 requirement policies and procedures? Can I get copy?
Yep. So Hannah's going to send out this slideshow, and you can click on this link right here that says sample policies that's underlined, and that will take you to our sample policies and procedures.
Thank you so much. Very
Sure.
appreciated.
Yeah, there's a lot of good information in the slide, so we'll get that out to you guys as soon as possible. Children's records. Again, if you click on this underlined enrollment records right here, when you get the slides, it will take you to our website that has a sample enrollment records of everything that's required. Due on the first day of care is your emergency medical authorizations, emergency contact authorized pickup information, your general contact information for parents and the child, your medical information. And this is a huge one. That's why it's bolded, because this is probably cited more than anything else, is the immunization records on the Colorado approved form. So you might get a form from the parents that the doctor had provided them. And if it's not on the Colorado approved form, unfortunately, we can't accept it. So it can be transcribed by you, the provider, as long as you attach the original with the transcribed version. So all these records are required to be updated annually or whenever changes have occurred. So if you know that they've moved or mom's switched a job or they have a new doctor or anything like that, we want to make sure that all that information is updated and that you have that. And then due within 30 days of enrollment is the health statement signed by a physician. If they're under 2 years of age, this is another one that, and I know 2 months goes by fast, so it is really easy to miss, but if they're under 2, you should be getting that updated health statement signed by the physician and all their well child checks. So we spelled that out for you here when that is. It's at 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 24 months. That's when they should be getting vaccinations, and they should be getting those well child checks. If they're between 2 and 6, then those health statements are annually. 7 and older, it's every 3 years. Emergency procedures are another one that we want to make sure are robust and specific to your facility, that you've thought of all emergency safety plans, fire, natural disasters, evacuation, all your drills, reunification with families. So if you have to evacuate your house, how are you going to meet up with your families? Do they know where to go? Do they know how to contact you? So that's an important plan to have. And then your plan for children with disabilities or access or functional needs. So if you're an infant toddler home and you have 4 infants and toddlers all to yourself, how are you going to evacuate them? How are you getting them out the door? How are you transporting them? Even if you don't transport on a regular basis, what's your emergency plan for transportation? And then continuity of operations. So if you have to close your business for a little while or move sites or something like that, what's your plan for continuity of operations following an emergency or disaster? And then sample emergency plan, Amanda added that link in there for you to our website as well. The drills that we require monthly fire drills, tornado drills monthly from March until October during high tornado season. No matter where you are in the state, everybody's required to do those tornado drills March to October. And our other emergency drills, which are these like reverse evacuation, shelter in place, are quarterly. So we ask that you maintain a drill log of that and have that available for review. Your 5-pound 2A10 BC rated fire extinguisher. At least one fire extinguisher in the home has to be a 5-pounder. You can have other smaller ones around, but we have to have accessible, a 5-pound one that's highly visible and easily accessible. So if it's in your pantry, we want to make sure that there's either a sign or a something that distinguishes that that fire extinguisher is in there for anybody in the home that might be coming in if you're unavailable. And then carbon monoxide detectors are required on the level where children sleep and per manufacturer specification. So you want to read the label on your carbon monoxide detector. A lot of them require them within X amount of feet of the furnace or hot water heater or anything like that. So you want to know that those are installed per manufacturer specifications and on each level where children sleep. Just the general health and safety we wanted to define for you what inaccessible is, because you'll hear us saying that all the time. So our regulation reads, any items marked by the manufacturers keep out of reach of children must be made inaccessible to children at all times. We also have another regulation that says any hazardous items must be, so even scissors that aren't marked keep out of reach of children, but scissors or plastic bags, which are marked keep out of reach of children, but those must be inaccessible. So that means unreachable, unattainable, unavailable, unobtainable, or untouchable. So medications, of course, whether they're over the counter or prescription, vitamins, supplements, essential oils. A lot of people, especially in homes, use those essential oils. A lot of those can be toxic to kids. So we want to make sure that those are treated like medication and those are locked up. Choking hazards, if you have children under 3, we want to make sure that all choking hazards are inaccessible to them. We have these little thing called choke tubes that we use. You might see us use them. If they fit inside that, then it's a choking hazard for children under 3. All electrical outlets should be covered, or a lot of the newer homes nowadays have the child-proof electrical covers, so that's fine too. We just want to make sure that all those electrical outlets are covered. Disinfectants, cleaning agents, inaccessible, but we also want to make sure that you're not using those, like doing really heavy on cleaning with the children around for inhalation purposes. So. Outdoor, we want to make sure you're doing like a daily walkthrough of your outdoor area, making sure that all animal feces is picked up. I know that's hard, but trying to get on top of that. That you're checking your fence, that you don't have gaps or any protruding nails, that you have the appropriate resilient surfacing. Another hard thing to keep up with, I know, as kids kick out that from underneath the swings and slides. If you constantly have issues with that, talk to your specialist. They've seen a lot of different things and might have some ideas for you on that. A use zone, we used to call that a fall zone. So if a child falls off the top of a climbing equipment, that's the use zone. So we ask for 6 feet all around any equipment. Make sure that there's no hazards in that. So no tree stumps, anything like that. Just general condition and repair of your equipment, making sure there's no splinters, exposed nails, chipping paint, and then all accessible hazards. Your propane tank is detached or covered. Lawnmower, yard tools, fertilizer, things like that are all inaccessible to kids. Amanda, do you want to get this, please? My dog is scratching at the door to get outside. So.
No problem. Yep. So yeah, I saw you kept looking. I was like, I'm gonna jump in. Approved safe, so safe sleep equipment for children. A crib, a pack and play with the straps properly secured. So a lot of those pack and plays, the mattress has these 2 Velcro tabs and a little slit at the bottom. You want to make sure those are tight. that there's no blankets or heavy bedding, no stuffed animals, no toys in the crib, no swaddling of infants, and that they're always placed on their back for sleeping. Any alternatives are required. We require a doctor healthcare plan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that was quick.
She's old. I'm always nervous about what she's going to do if I don't pay attention to her. Okay. Guidance. Again, that's something that we ask that you outline in your policies and procedures. We have lots of trainings on PDIS surrounding guidance, positive guidance. It should mainly be based on cultivating a positive relationship with the child and parents. Working with the parents if you're having difficulties at home or even at the facility, working with them. At the very bottom, you'll see a lot of home providers don't realize, but they do have access to free mental and behavioral health consultants. So that's if you're having, some issues that you're not addressing at the facility, you need some help. We do have mental and behavioral health consultants available free of charge for home providers. And then obviously no harsh treatment. So no verbal, physical, emotional humiliation, and discipline should never be associated with rest, toileting, or food. So these are our top 10 violations for family child care homes. The first one is all hazardous items being inaccessible to children. Second one is that health statement within 30 days, and then making sure you're keeping up with that and getting the most current one at each well child check. The third one is training. So that's the child abuse prevention training. Number 4 is the immunization record on the Colorado approved form. Number 5 is staying up to date on that immunization training. 6 is the shake and baby training, keeping up to date on that. 7, standard precautions training, keeping up on that. 8 is making sure you have the most current emergency medical authorization for the child. Again, that's to be updated annually. Number 9 is safe sleep training, and number 10 is keeping those health statements current for your children. So as you see, it's mainly paperwork, which is it's hard. It's hard. And getting that paperwork from parents is hard. We understand that. If you spell, that's why your policies and procedures is really important too, because if you spell that out in there about, if I can continue to ask you and you don't get that to me, this is where we go next with that. So I'll pass it off. If anybody has any questions about policy or rules and regs, we can take those now, and then Jody's going to move into QRIS and our level 2. No questions? Okay, cool.
Okay, so we have the Colorado Shines, the levels that we do for ratings. Level 1 is once you are licensed, you are at a level 1. If you would like to go to the level 2 ratings, it's basically a desktop audit for us. To meet level 2, you basically are doing some they're not big changes. You're basically looking at all the different multicultural things that you have in your program. You are creating a goal for your program. You're doing some training. It's a very easy process to go to level 2. Once you submit your application through the portal, then it is reviewed by the licensing specialist. They basically just go through and review everything that you've entered. They're looking for your 10 hours of training, and all of that you can complete on PDIS. They are looking to see that you are in good standing, that you're not in adverse action or anything negative on your license at this time. They're looking that you have your goals set up that you want to do. Then they go through, review everything. They'll reach out to you if you're missing anything and you need to add anything. They'll reach out to you and let you know what needs to be modified or added. Once they've reviewed it and everything is in good standing, they will go ahead and approve the level 2 rating. If you would like to continue moving through the level 3 through 5, it really unlocks a lot of additional funding and coaching opportunities. If you want to go through level 5, the best place to start is going through your council. Each of the councils have different amounts of funding to help you move to those different levels. So reaching out to your council is a good start. They will help you get set up with the right coaches. The coaches will come in, they'll work with you to help you do different things inside your program. They help you with the multicultural piece of the different toys. They work with you on the hand washing piece. They work with you on the question and answer, and really guiding you to be a better provider, a higher level provider. Then once you submit everything, you do all of your trainings for that, and you have worked with your coach, then there will be a virtual rating right now. They're not doing them in person. Normally it is an observation that the person doing the observation would come into your home. They kind of check out everything you're doing. They watch you interact with the kids. And right now, because of COVID, those are happening virtually. So you'll schedule with your coach to get that done. They'll do that. And then based on whatever you did and whatever you implemented, you could be anywhere from a level 3 to a 5.